the feud almost between the greatest player of all time in Lee Matthews and the players, and perhaps how the pace at which the players are picking up what outside society is dealing with, Nick?
It's the pace and I think it's the tone. So first of all, the players get no sympathy from anyone. So you're always, as a player, walking a bit of a tightrope with the way you are perceived, and that can become even more difficult because we know when you're in a football club, Kingy, you've been in there, you are so sheltered as to the reality of what real life is like. You follow a real herd mentality. You're told where to be, what to do, what to say, how to say it, what to eat, and everything is very controlled. So what is happening externally, it can be really difficult to permeate into a player's sphere. And we're talking about young men as well. But they get no sympathy from the public. So the messaging last week was, heavily criticised. Whether the intention was good or not, I think the tone and the way it has reverberated with the general public, it's been a bit of a PR mess, hasn't it, for the players?
Do you think that's how it's being sold? And even Jack last night, they can't win this fight.
They can't win it.
No matter
that's the point.
No matter what they say, it'll get taken out of context. Even the 22-game thing, right, that we want 100% of our pay, that wasn't what was said originally. But it gets twisted and turned through the course of the paraphrasing over the next week. That in the end, it wouldn't have mattered what Paul Marsh said. It would have been just totally changed. In the end, he said, if we've got 40 weeks to play a 17-week season, why can't we play 22? Can we just leave that door ajar?
Yeah.
Was what he said.
So
in the end, that's been turned into the players want 100% of their money.
Because when you look at that, and the AFL, what would be best case scenario for the AFL? Play 22 games.
Yeah.
Fulfill every obligation they've made. You don't think they've considered that? You don't think they've done all the work and crunched all the numbers and are privy to information?
But it went straight to 17.
But
without consultation to the Players Association.
No,
it went straight to 17 games.
Oh, I understand that, but they would have done that reluctantly gone straight to 17.
Yeah, but all Paul was saying at the time was let's leave that door ajar. And I didn't mind that notion or that discussion. And it wasn't a discussion they got to have with the AFL. It was just 17 straight away.
So I thought last week...
It was a bad starting point for them to have to fight back from.
And I thought last week was a time when the AFL came with 17 games. It was a time to, unprecedented, just acquiesce to the AFL's request.
And do what? So put yourself in that situation.
We'll do whatever the AFL needs us to do. We'll do whatever the AFL needs us to do. You got to pick your battles. And the players and the players' associations, when the CBA's up, they'll pick those fights and they're well entitled to do so. But I just think this was the time to acquiesce, to play nice and to go along, because the league would have done that. The AFL would have gone to 17 games. That would have been an absolute last resort. They would have explored every possible opportunity of playing 22.
But people are hung up on wanting a percentage. They want a number. What are you going to give up? How much of a sacrifice are you going to make until May 31? How much are you going to make after that? A lot of these questions were unanswered at the time, or they weren't heavily discussed at the time when those questions were asked. And I feel like they've been painted into a corner really quickly and often ahead of time. I mean, they haven't been ready to answer these questions because the goalposts have moved so quickly.
Yeah, and will continue to move.
And they've got to discuss these decisions with their members. So once the question arrives, they've got to get to the group.
850 people.
So they can't just make a decision and say, oh, look, sorry, guys, we just shot from hip on that one. So things are a little bit slower by course. They can't get around that.
Totally agree.
Paul Marsh is not making decisions for himself.
Yeah, but that's why the language is so important. That's why the wording is so important.
But what percentage? So you be Patrick Dangerfield for me, right? And I'm coming at you, right? I'm Jared Waitley, I'm Mark Robinson on AFL 360 saying, righto, Danger, what are you prepared to take?
Yeah. So first of all, when you start saying we've got families to take care of, we've got loans to take care of, we've got dinner for the grandparents that we need to put on the table, we've got siblings, so's everybody else. So straight away, I'm talking about the PR. I'm talking about the
answer it as Paddy Dangerfield.
I'm talking about the PR battle.
Yeah.
So straight away, Joe Public out there is sitting, well, so do we. So what makes you any different? Why shouldn't you be exposed the way we're exposed? So you've lost straight away as soon as you go down that path.
Answer the question for me, though. You're Patrick Dangerfield. I'm asking you, what are you prepared to take? What percentage?
Whatever the game needs us to take.
So if they say 80%, if they say you're unpaid for 2 months,
Whatever the game needs us to take. We don't know what that looks like yet, because it's moved so far. It's going to continue to move. Whatever the game needs us to do, we're prepared to do, and that can just be the public message for the moment, because you avoid getting
moved from there though.
But you avoid getting pilloried the way they are.
You're not going to win. Like, that seems like a pretty good response.
That's the initial response. But then it moves to a figure. It needs to arrive at a figure at some stage, because the AFL are getting the finances in order to get the mega loan for Marvel Stadium. So they need to put on paper, these are the costs going forward. So at some point, the Players Association needs to say they need to come to an agreement, this is the figure.
But that's happened, hasn't it? The AFL have come and said, we need, was it 75 or we need 80, and the players have said, we'll give you 50. Isn't that...
Well... That's the negotiation, but they just can't walk in and say, okay, well, we'll just take whatever you
I understand.
Whatever you want to put on the table.
I understand the players wanting to. The players have got to. That's why you have a player union to look after your own constituents. Absolutely, and the feeling is that they want to take a hit commensurate with what the AFL executive. That's how it comes across to me, because if it's commensurate with all the other people out there that are employed to look after the players and get them, well, 80% of those people are gone. So who do you want to take a hit commensurate with? Is it the staff? Is it the AFL executive? Where does it lie?
Such a good point.
Well, if they said, Gil, you're taking 20%,
yep,
we'll take 20%, are you comfortable with that? Across the course of the year. Nothing to do with May 31st. Forget that. Forget that for the moment. If they said, you guys are taking that, we'll take the same percentage, then what happens?
That's where it becomes muddy. So would you be comfortable? So they've got a huge job to do, the AFL executive at the moment. So do you think what the players take should be commensurate with the executive, when you consider that the job now that the executive have to do to get the game through, to keep the game? They've got to save football.
But
now the players
are saving football.
The players are going to play a role in that.
Same role.
No, it's not the same role. It's not the same role.
Why isn't it the same?
Because the players aren't the ones going to government trying to get lines of credit. The players aren't the one going to clubs saying...
We're getting lines of credit on things that the players have helped earn.
Yeah, that's right. But everyone's... I understand the players drive the game. The players are the attraction. And I was as staunch on player rights throughout that whole period as anyone. But the executive at the moment, they're the ones that are actually out there trying to crunch the numbers to make it work, so that we actually have a game for the players to come back to.
That is their role.
That's right. That is their role.
So